Test your knowledge, difficulty mode, easy. I gave this a 4 out of 10 because we're not in standard form. We need to be in standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now we have the 0, and a lot of students would say a equals -2, b equals -6, so on and so forth. But when factoring, you're going to need the a value to be a positive 1. A needs to equal 1. So let's try and factor out using the GCF, the greatest common factor, a number out of the entire polynomial. I know that -2 can be pulled out of every single term in this trinomial. So we have a positive x squared, a positive 3x, and a -10. And this is also equal to 0. Now you might get a little confused about what to do with a -2. It's really simple, guys. You could divide both sides by -2, and I hope you know any number, or 0 divided by any number, is just going to equal 0. So we're not changing anything on the other side of the equal sign. We still have x squared plus 3x minus 10 equal to 0. Now we could factor how we've been practicing, the more basic form of factoring, which is finding a number that multiplies to c and adds up to b. In our case, our c is a -10, our b is a positive 3. So we're going to get, let's look at 5 and 2. I know they multiply to 10. I'm going to apply the negative sign to the smaller number because my b value is positive. If my b value were negative, I would have applied it to the bigger number. So we have -10 and we have 3 if we add them, right? If you put -5 times a positive 2, you get a -10, but then you get a -3, right? So we don't want to do that. All right, we know our factors are 5 and -2. So I'm going to rewrite this trinomial. We have x plus 5 times x minus 2 equals 0. We could split this because of the zero product rule. X plus 5 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0. We get x equals -5, x equals 2. And yes, students ask this all the time. As a shortcut, can you just make the signs opposite to get your final answer? Do I always have to show my work like this? Only if your teacher asks you to show your work do you have to do these last steps here. If you want, as soon as you factor it, you can identify that x equals a -5 and x equals a positive 2. All you got to do is change those signs.